Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video today I'm going to show you how to create this creepy doll look. Now I think this is the perfect tutorial for Halloween if you want to go as something that is cute but also scary at the same time. You can also use lash glue to substitute the latex on the mouth, so if you wanted to do this as a last minute tutorial it is very possible. All you need is fake blood, lash glue and your regular makeup products with some lashes. So I hope that you guys enjoy this video. If you would like to see how to do this then please keep on watching. Starting out, I'm taking my NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk and applying that from my lid all the way up into my brow bone. Because we're doing such colourful eyeshadow today, using a white base is a very important step. I'm going to messily apply it and then blend it into my skin with a soft eyeshadow brush. You will need to set that with some sort of a translucent powder so everything you apply on the top will blend flawlessly. Picking up a hot pink shadow, I'm going to buff that through my crease, focusing the pigment mainly on the outer corner of my eye and then lightly swooping the rest through my crease. I'm then going to take a deep purple shadow on a smaller, fluffier brush and densely pack that just in the outer corner to really deepen it up and give us a more three-dimensional look. To highlight my brow bone, I'm using a matte white shadow and buffing that from the crease up to the brow to give it a nice soft gradient and blend out that pink colour. Taking a shimmering pearl eyeshadow, I'm going to pack that on the centre of the lid. This is going to really brighten it up and make our eyes appear a lot bigger. Once the eyeshadow is done, it should look something like this. Now it's time to move on to the lower lash line. I'm taking that same white eyeliner and buffing it heavily into my waterline and also dragging it down quite far to create a really open, doll-eyed look. You can make this as large as you want, but if you go too big it starts looking fake. So I'm going to apply it and then smooth it out with a brush and set that with a white eyeshadow to give it a nice matte look. All of the products that I used today will be listed in the description box below if you are wondering. I just thought I would remind you guys because a lot of people do ask what I'm using in my videos. I'm then just going to take an eyeliner and start to line my lids. I started out nice and thin and then I'm going to take it and make it nice and thick on the outer corner to give us that real doll-eyed effect. Try to create a really rounded look and then buff that up into your lash line as well to make your top lashes nice and dark. Line your new lower lash line and connect it up with the outer corner of your eyeliner. That's going to give us a really elongated open eye. Now it's time to start stacking lashes. I took two different pairs, one very dense and spiky pair and one very separated and long pair. I stacked them on top of each other to get a very wispy and open look, but it also is quite thick. Taking that same hot pink shadow and buffing it along my new lower lash line to make it match with the crease, and then of course we're going to pop on some lower lashes. I'm using some regular lashes and then turning them the wrong way around so they sit to the curve of your face. Moving on to brows, I'm taking a pomade to fill them in. I wanted them to look super drawn on, so I made them very thin and very dark and kind of shaped as well, just really accentuating my arch. And if you have your eyebrows further apart, it makes you look more younger and kind of innocent in a way, so I didn't bring them too close together. For my foundation, I'm using a cream contouring kit, starting out with the highlight shades. I'm popping the highlight quite prominently down my nose, also applying it very rounded on my cheekbones and my chin to give it a very cute look. Then it's time to move on to contouring. I'm using a few deeper shades and carving out the features that I want to recede. So I'm starting out by applying it down the sides of my nose to give a very straight nose effect, carving out those cheekbones to give a very rounded look, and also applying it on my forehead to make it look very shaded and small. To blend all of that away, I'm using a dampened beauty blender. And if you do this method and you have some problem blending in between the colours, I do recommend taking your regular foundation colour and popping that in between the highlight and contour to give it more of a seamless blend. To set that all in place, I'm taking my RCMA no colour powder and baking on the highest points of my face to really accentuate it and make them stand out. I did leave that there for about 5 minutes to let it soak into the highlighted areas, and then for my contour areas I'm taking a contour kit and just lightly defining it, also using some warm tones to bring some warmth back into the face. Off camera, I then muted the sides of my lips with a bit of concealer to make them smaller, and then I took a purple liquid lipstick. This is like a deep fuchsia colour, which I think matched my eyeshadow perfectly. I just applied that to make my lips look a little bit smaller and more petite. To finish off the cute side of the doll, I'm taking some pastel pink eyeshadows and applying that as blush on the apples of my cheeks, quite heavy to give it a really rounded look. And of course we can't forget our freckles, so I'm taking a brown cream paint and lightly applying the freckles everywhere. I wanted them to look drawn on because we are a doll, so I made them a bit bigger than I usually would. But that is it. This is the cute side of the doll complete. Now this is a really cute costume for Halloween or any type of a party, but if you guys are anything like me, you're not after cute, so if you want to make this gory, I'll teach you a few simple steps on how to create this stapled together mouth. Starting out, you will need to lightly map out the area of the cut so you can get the size where you need to apply your products. You can either use lash glue or liquid latex in this video, it's totally up to you what you guys have handy. I'm going to be taking a sponge that I've pulled to pieces to get a nice stippled edge on and lightly applying one layer of latex down. You will only need one ply of tissue, so make sure you separate your tissues. Apply that lightly over the top of the latex and then peel away any excess that you don't need so it blends off nicely into the skin. Several thin stippled layers of latex over the top of that one ply of tissue turns out to be better than 2 or 3 layers of tissue and a few layers of latex. It just seems to blend off better into the skin and it dries quite translucent, so I sped up the drying time with a hairdryer set to cold. I'm going to gently cut open the slits in the side of my mouth, and then I'm going to start colour matching to the rest of my face, just using those same foundations that we used earlier and re-going over the contour areas that we need to. Taking a maroon red grease paint, I'm applying that on the entirety of the inside of the cut. That's going to give it a nice blood red undertone. Also with your brush, just lightly flick out the edges of the cut to really extend it and make it look more blended. Then I'm going to take this blue colour and just lightly run that across the edges just to give it a little bit of shading and bruising tones. In this video today, I'm going to be using safety pins to hold my smile back together. You can of course just leave the smile by itself. You can apply stitches with black thread. You can also use staples, anything that you can think of that is super gory and gross. So I changed it up and flipped them all around and applied them straight through the latex, of course not through my real skin. Once I have them all in place, I'm then going to move on to some blood gel. Using a brush, I'm going to apply that along the edges of where the cuts are because our skin is obviously going to be bleeding. I'm also going to apply it very chunky on the inside of the cut and on the sides of my lips. You can blend this out, you can use a stipple brush, or you can go crazy and have drips everywhere, it's up to you. To finish it off, I just applied a little bit of that blue as shading to give it more of a charcoaly depth. So after you've done that, this is the finished look. Now you can go out and scare people with your cute but creepy scary doll. So that's it guys, that is the end of my video. I hope you all enjoyed this creepy doll tutorial. If you did, please give it a very big thumbs up. Also don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not already. I put out weekly body paint and special effects tutorials. If you recreate any of my work, please tag me at Corban SFX, and if you want to be featured on my channel, tag me at BC Showcase. I thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys!